All right, everybody. Well, with a heavy heart, I want to bring you in to what was a happy Friday till I got the news of um, my cousin's passing. So, to Jamar Gilbert, his children, Jamar's my first cousin. His mom is my dad's sister. I want to represent for him. Just want to remember him with a few good memories and to talk about the roaring lion. All right. The roaring lion is all of our adversary. If you watch the animal kingdom, if you study the animals that the lions hunt, even though the lion is a very strong and powerful beast, they still prey upon those who are in a weakened condition. This episode of Live Your Truth, I don't have the fancy show coming on. I just want to give you guys some coaching because you guys need it. This episode 105, The Roaring Lion, I hope it helps save some lives. I got a call from my cousin, a text message. It said, Taibu, Jamar could use some coaching. That's what he actually said. I thought it was just like, our cousin a little bit wild. So I'm like, I hit him up. I hit him up though, like, what's going on? I didn't know that at this time, my cousin was posting online. All this stuff I just found out. I didn't know yesterday that this was developing because my cousin didn't say, hey, Taibu, check out his page or he's going wild on Facebook. So I didn't reach out to Jamar. I reached out to Bob, who was on the edge of his seat watching to see if our cousin was going to carry out this threat to take his own life. All right. So the roaring lion is the adversary to us all. The roaring lion is the one that seeks to devour. So if you wonder why me when something bad happens, when something unfortunate comes across your path, it's because the roaring lion has sought you out. The difficulty with this roaring lion is that it embodies, if y'all think about every time Satan took over an animal or an animal was talked to about, if you look at it, so the serpent was cunning. So he talked Eve into damning women to deal with the pains of childbirth and this monthly cycle forever. Right? Not forever, but until God sees fit to change it. But the bottom line is that was their punishment for being talked into something by the adversary in the form of an animal. But if you look at the characteristics of the lion, it hunts the weakened, the sick, or the slow, or the maimed animal in whatever pack it's in. So please expect the adversary to show up some kind of way in your life when you're in a weakened condition. The adversary is that little voice that says, take your own life. The adversary is that huge sound in the back of your mind that tells you death is better. End it now. That's the adversary. It's the adversary. But he's supposed to do this, people. This is his position in our spiritual realm. To steal, kill, and destroy. Shout out to my cousin, man. Good memories of him, right? I talked my aunt, his mom, my aunt Faye, into letting him go to Westinghouse his freshman year instead of letting him go to a different school where he grew up with all his friends at, bus all the way across town and go to Shenley because he grew up in that area. I said, no, I'll send him to Westinghouse. I'll make sure he's good. They turned my little cousin into a crick. But he was all right, though. He fit in. Homewood at that time, Homewood in the mid-90s was buck wild. The early 90s, buck wild. Right? He was cool. Little cuz was cool. All right. Just trying to shoot y'all in the real. Little cuz, he was all right. He was good. And so, in saying that, there was a time, I was a situation when I was dating a lady, and in high school I did it older for the most part. So this college lady, she had a boyfriend. So their crowd was older. Pulled up on us. Me, my girlfriend, my cousin Byron that reached out to me, and Jamie. Now they were like 14 and 15. I was 17. These grown men get out the car. My cousin Byron reminded me one day, he was like, man, because that's when I really started to not being afraid of fools. Because I didn't grow up with my cousin like in Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying? But the way I was raised, I put them both behind me. I said, just stay behind me. When nobody get behind me, I got this. There was no rip and run. It was like, okay, 5 grown men get out the car. It's me and my 2 little cousins. I'm not even asking them to fight. I'm just asking them to keep fools from behind me. Let me step up and see what's going on. But that was just the fondest memories of my cousin. We were talking a couple moments ago about the 2012 family reunion, right? 2012, I got my little brother who has also, passed away too young, hopped in a rental. Straight from Madison, Wisconsin to Pittsburgh. We're going home, we're going to the reunion, baby. Get there. We get there, right? Great time. It was like The Hangover. My cousin JR had to shoot me some ducats financially because I lost my bank card just going too hard. I don't know what I did, but it might still be in Pittsburgh. Right? But I was on this family reunion. Like we walk into the house. I'll never forget it. Walk into the house. We're like, they made it. So Jamar had K2. It was back when K2, I remember K2. My brother, he was all about K2 as well. Now, you had to be a special individual to smoke K2 and get high like it was weed and not die, right? Right? Keeping it real, right? So, Jamar came out with about a pound of K2. And he was like, I'm from the lot of who wants to put this K2. I was like, get that out of here. My brother heard, like, got that K2. Oh. But that's how it was. Chase and Jamar, they kind of always clicked. That was their thing. You know what I mean? So them two was thick as thieves the rest of the deal. That was a great weekend. You can go on my Facebook page and look at some pictures. And I'll post some pictures from that family reunion that I have. I reached out to my cousin Jamar one time when I was in Wisconsin. I was like, man, you got style, cuz. My cuz could dress. I was like, cuz, you got to help big cuz out. I don't have no style whatsoever. Put me down. Help me get my matching game together. Like my cousin, he had it. Jamar had it. Very dark skin. He put on them fly colors, and he had it. Style was impeccable. My cousin had a dark side, man. It was tough for me to really take him under my wing. Even when I became conscious, he was coming out of a case itself. I'm getting out, he get out. Just really couldn't get him to come with me. People were saying, they're saying now, I didn't know. People were saying now that he kept threatening to commit suicide. Maybe it was a cry for help. It's tough. He and I never had that conversation. He never had that conversation. I wish he had it because I would have given this conversation I'm giving you right now. Roaring lion. I would have said, cousin, that's the adversary. He'd be like, what do you mean? I said, cousin, just think about it. A lion goes after the limped, maimed, slow, the weaker wildebeest. You think that a lion lets the kid or the baby wildebeest go because their kids are babies? That's not the animal kingdom. You know, snakes hit the bird nest, they get the eggs and the hatched chicks. I'm talking about, this is the animal kingdom. It is. The weaker ones in that pack, that's who the lion goes after. Not because the lion's scared or a punk or they're weak or they're afraid to fight the biggest bull elephant or the biggest bull hippo or whatever. It's just there to eat. It ain't there for a fight. Right? It's there for the kill. So Satan takes on this role. Steal, kill, destroy. Steal, kill, destroy. Like it's a song, steal, kill, destroy. The adversary, the roaring lion, is going to come to you. You don't have to find him. He's going to come to you. If you wonder why you feel so low when you're down, if you wonder why you feel like it's all over when you go through a simple situation, why it's hard to compart, it's because that pressure is coming from that roaring lion. He's coming up on you. He wants to devour you. Now, let me be clear. Like I said the other day, if God is love, then Satan is the lie. Right? So how many lies does this devourer tell you in your weakened state? Death doesn't call anybody. It chases us down like a devouring, roaring lion. Let's get it right. If taking your own life is seductive to you, you know that you're being forced because something's chasing you. Let's talk about the 100% guaranteed suicide prevention strategy. Taibu Mu'addib, confirmed genius. Let me break it down for you real quick. Humility. Humility. See, the reasoning that we are given as human beings doesn't serve us when we're weak. But humility is always a tool that fixes us in a weakened condition. Because humility won't tell you to say, oh, this shouldn't be happening to me. I'm better than this. I'm too good to go through this. Humility is not going to say that. Humility is not going to say, I'd rather die than to face the public afterwards. I'd rather kill myself than go back and have to deal with more incarceration. Humility is not going to say that. That's pride. That's why the word of God says that God gives grace to the humble, but resists the proud. So in your proud moment, the devil probably can devour you because God is letting you be. Now with God, anything is possible. But when you become proud, he resists you. He does. He draws back. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that about God. You don't. You don't. But Satan knows it's a fact. Satan knows that those of you who are proud, you're not trying to hear that humble voice. Say, hey, everybody goes through this. Hey, Everyone has to experience something like this in their life. It's not just you. Might not be the same thing, but it's not just you. So for those of you who are bereaved, who have lost a loved one, like a parent or a child, especially a child, a close sibling or a twin, those of you who are suffering bereavement, just got married or are about to get married, and you lost that person. Let me tell you something right now. Every one of us goes through something like that. It's not just you. Your attachment to that individual in the flesh may be severe. Your longing for them may be severe, but we've been given the art of reasoning. We've been given a gene to reason it out. And if you reason it out, the only pain truly is some emotional, past-centered, focused on the past attachment mentally, but it's an image in our mind. But we can definitely, move on. We can move on. Taibu, have you been close to suicide? Yes. 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 I was so close to doing it, I was locked up. I had to lay down. I said, man, let me sleep on this. I'm ready to go, but let me sleep on this. Let me sleep on it. Fell asleep, woke up, salvation in my heart, faith all in my mind. Facing lots of time, but I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I probably would rather do the rest of my life locked up than to kill myself and possibly miss seeing the Lord. Yeah, I might. It's whatever I got to do now. It pales in comparison to being one with Christ. Facing 40 years, it seemed unfair. But yeah, that's not me. And do you know that hours later, they called me out of my cell. Attorney showed up. Attorney came and brought me good news. He said, well, God darn it, rather than risk a lawsuit when you get out, no matter when it is, they've cut you a deal. Be out in a couple of weeks if you sign it. The same day. I woke up, they brought breakfast at 5 a.m. As soon as they popped the cells, 7, 8 o'clock, attorney was there first thing in the morning. Said the police and talked to the prosecutor, and rather than risk a lawsuit, they offered me a deal. Because if I pled guilty to a certain felony in the case, I couldn't sue them later. I'd be out in days. Facing 40 years was going to kill myself. Because I didn't want to do 40 years for something I didn't do. Slept on it. Went to sleep on it. Let me sleep on this. It's a pretty big decision. Let me sleep on this. Woke up, praise in my heart. Bring that 40 years on. I'll make it. Shoot. Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence made it. I can make it 40 more years and locked up. Right? I don't want to miss that opportunity to greet the Lord face to face. That's just my, it doesn't have to be yours, but I'm just saying, I had to get humble. I had to get humble and realize that there was greater things to look forward to, right? That's just my story. That was the closest I came to taking my own life. Gonna do it. Slept on it. See, it was at that moment that Satan showed up at my cell bars. It was at that moment that what he said was making sense. You know, when you making love to the person that you with or married to, whatever the case may be, when the kids is happy, when you get that brand new job, Satan can show up like, kill yourself. You're like, what? When you find out that person cheated and everybody already knew, when the police lock you up for a crime you didn't commit, and every time you turn around, somebody's telling you, you stuck there, you gotta wait, and you just know that this can't be your life. Then the pressures of what's going on inside the jailhouse, because you don't know how to defend yourself, or fend for yourself, and make it happen in there. So you going through both. That's when your company downsizes, and you got money for the rent, but you don't have money to keep the lights on or feed yourself. That's when what the devil is saying is convincing people. My little cousin, you look at his rant, he was typing. I wish it was a video so I could really have a better connection with these last couple of moments. I wish it was. I wish he would have went live. But my thing is this: just through his ranting, you can see you can see, y'all look on his page, you can see the devil breaking him down. You can see him saying things, and you can see it was levels to it. If you look at the post that he was making and what he was saying, it was levels to it. Was a roaring lion, people. He did something he shouldn't have did. Satan showed up. Kill yourself. And Satan showed right up. Little cuz was weak. He was going through it. There was some things coming up. I heard might have been a warrant out for his arrest. He hadn't been out that long, maybe a year or so or more. That probation and parole game, you already know how Pennsylvania do it. We seen the Meek Mill story. They have you on probation and parole the rest of your life. All right. These conditions. I just want you all to know that he got himself into a little trouble. And Satan eased up in his ear and started whispering lies. You'll be better off dead. You'll be better off dead. Take your own life. This is where the pride kicks in. You're not scared to do it, are you? You will show them. Go out like a soldier. That's when the pride shows up, people. Right? If you see people on their hands like this, when our cousin said, call me, cuz, put his number in the chat, like. And then my cousin put, if you haven't reached out to me or talked to me in the last 6 months. So that let me know that Satan had been riding my little cuz, man, for 6 months strong. Riding. Come on, somebody. So it wasn't just that one incident. Satan was telling him, destroy yourself, kill yourself, destroy yourself. He was riding little. I don't know what the first incident was that kind of opened this crack up or gave, I don't know what happened to where Satan caught that fragrance. If you think of a shark can smell blood in the water from miles away. To put that into perspective, that's like you being able to smell a hot apple pie cooking 2.5 miles away. A shark can smell blood in the water that far away, can smell it, sense it, whatever. Just think about that, people. As soon as you get a nick, as soon as mentally or emotionally or spiritually you get a nick, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming. If you're humble, let me tell you what humility does. Satan is the roaring lion, but if you're humble, he can say, kill yourself. But that's when you start responding like Christ, right? You're like, what would Jesus do though? Because Jesus had a process, didn't he? He told the disciples to pray about it. We prayed about it, Christ, and they're still, the demons were still, he said, pray and fast. Jesus had a routine. When Satan tried him on the mount, right? Jesus fasted. He went without water 40 days or something like that. He knew the process. He knew the process. So when you're humble, whether you've read the word of God or not, when you're humble, you can hear the healing. You can hear the help. You can see the rays of light for hope when you humble yourself. This is not my decision to make. God gave me life. Why would I take what God has given me? Come on, somebody. Couldn't represent for cuz. My little brother, they say, mixed the wrong medication he was taking with some alcohol or something. It was a bad mix or something like that. He may not have known, died in his sleep. If I'd have been out, if I'd have been there, could I have prevented it? That haunted me for so long. Now my little cousin, I get a call the same day, a text the same day. I missed him. I'm at work. I get back to my cousin. Now he's caught up. He's trying to watch see my cousin going to do. I'm too late. I just hear the news today. Couldn't get involved either. Couldn't be there in that last second. But I can be there for you. I can be there for you, and I can definitely be there for you. To let you know, no matter what you're going through right now, start practicing humility. Get a fragrance of humility about yourself. An attitude of humility. My cousin is gone right now because he never cultivated a relationship with a spirit of humility. My cousin is passed right now. He took his own life because he never cultivated a fragrance or a spirit, or he never had the opportunity to experience how humility would bless his life. He rolled the proud route the whole way. Pride and proud people, it's not the issue of you being stubborn because you're proud. It's the issue of you thinking you're above doing what's necessary to heal. Oh yeah, y'all didn't see that one coming. A proud person can't come down. They can't come off that ledge to get down there and look at a different perspective and see what they need to heal. A proud person is not going to do what? They're not going to ask for the help they need. Cuz help was there. We love you, cuz help is there. I seen people on the page like this call me cuz he was so proud he didn't ask. The post says, if you haven't talked to me in 6 months, cuz call me. Inbox me. You know what I'm saying? You have ways to get a hold of me. Holler at me. We both been jailbirds. We both went through that. Yes, I changed my life. If you want to know how, I'll tell you. Reach out. Don't be so proud, cuz ask me. And I can't blame cuz for his pride. I can't blame cuz for taking his life. That's between him and God. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I can say it was a mistake for him to not choose the path of humility when his life depended on it, because he has beautiful children that he left behind. That wanted him to be there for their graduations, for their weddings. Don't do it, people. Don't be so proud. that you can't get a different perspective on your situation. Humility is the 100% guaranteed suicide prevention technique. 100% guaranteed. Humble yourself. You have the power to take your own life, but why would you take what God has given you, knowing that every good and perfect thing comes from above? No matter what you have to go through, still a greater and higher power gave you that life. Why would you take it? And here's what's ridiculous. That's why I say if God is love and Satan is the lie. Y'all gonna rewind this part of my tape over and over again. You're gonna rewind this part of life over and over again. Here's what's ridiculous. You can't even take your life. You don't have the power to take your life. The life that's in you isn't the flesh that you live within. That's how you know it was Satan telling you to make the attempt to take your life. Once you kill your body of flesh, this spirit man, spirit woman is still going to be there. What happens then to it then? You still have to answer to the person that gave you life. People, you can't take your own life. That's like saying the word Negro or nigger. There's no such thing as a black person. There are people with dark skin, like me. There are people with pale skin, but we don't call them pale people. You should call them pale people. My screen over here is white. They're definitely not white. My shirt's black. I'm definitely not black. Why don't we call them pale people? Right? There's no such thing. There's no country called black. There's no country called white. Why are we using these words? So when people say you can take your, when Satan says you can take your own life, end it. It's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new journey. Pride is selfish. It was a selfish decision, cuz I love you. It was a selfish decision. I'm gonna pour a shot. I'm gonna get up out of here for my cousin. Pride is selfish. It was a selfish decision. You have kids, bro. When I got low, I was close to doing it. I had to sleep on it because at the time I had 2 kids. I hadn't even had my 3rd, my 4th children yet. So at the time I only had 2 kids. Just shooting it to you real. You have to realize, listen to me. Pride is selfish. That's how Satan wins. He's feeding into that. Someone loves you. Or, hear me out, someone wants to love you. You're someone's husband or wife to be. It's destined. If you take your life at 16 or 17, you are creating a situation where that person is not going to have now their soulmate. They got to settle for something else. Pride is selfish. A roaring lion. A roaring lion. Satan, the great lie and liar, convinces you to do something that isn't even a final act. You can't take your own life. Life isn't just the breath in this physical flesh body. Life is the extra essence and existence that you have beyond that. We all know this. I'm 48. I'm fully convinced. This ain't all it is. You get ready to kill me, I'm gonna be calm, just ready for the next part of the journey. You didn't exist in any sense of the word until God breathed life into you. You can't take that life. You just don't have the power. Satan doesn't have that power. That's why it's a lie. As much as Satan suffers, every second, as much as Satan suffers, Satan was up on high before he lied to himself and started lying to other angels. He was up here. He on the bottom now. That's why he's sliding around lying to everybody else. If Satan had the power to take his own life, he would. He doesn't. You read the word of God and get an understanding for it. God's going to vanquish all sin. Sin isn't going to live forever. Sin only began. Wait a minute. Sin only began. Wait a minute. Right. Since God created Lucifer, the devil, the roaring lion, Satan. And when Satan decided to sin, so God created sin, he created the being that brought sin about. So when God decides to kill sin and everybody that partakes in it, that's what's going to happen. But Satan doesn't have the power to do what he's telling you to do to yourself. Trust me. Trust me. While y'all reason that out for yourselves, I want to say goodbye to a good friend of mine, J. Mark Gilbert, my cousin. It's easy to love the good parts of J. Mark, man. Funny guy, like I said, great dresser, lots of swag. He and I had a couple of tough moments, but for the most part, he was cool. I'm glad he was a part of my life. Sorry he's gone so soon. I got some really big stuff coming up, and it's difficult. Him and Chase gonna miss it. Here with us, right here. Wherever they are now, they may or may not be a witness to it, depending on what happens after this. But I'm telling you right now, man, big plans, big things coming up. Y'all see it. Y'all see me podcasting, going hard, coaching folks. So you know what it is. To celebrate him, obviously, Mu'addib Global. Mu'addib Global is going to bring about the Citizens Justice League, which is going to bring about justice for African people globally. Once colonized and beaten down because there were superior mindsets that had superior gunpowder that made weapons of a superior killing nature. Now we have similar numbers that we had back then. We have good numbers. We have our mindsets shifted. And so now we can come together, unify, and have the freedom and justice we should have. It's going to come from the movement, the Mu'addib Global Movement. So I'm going to drink to my cousin's passing from this. Be right back. Alexa, play It's So Hard to Say Goodbye by Boy. Alexa, turn it up. Alexa, turn it up again. Again. Hey Alexa. She hard-headed. Hey Alexa, turn it up some more. To yesterday. I don't know where the road is going to be. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If we get to see, I hope it's worth all the way. J-Ma, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And here's to you, J-Mar. May the next part of your journey be the best part yet. Woo! Love you, cuz. Hey Alexa, play "See You at the Crossroads" by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Gotta shout out Bone Thugs and Harmony for this song, man. The Crossroads. It's going down, man. Taibu Mu'addib. I started this podcast at 7:30. I opened it up, man, for folks to jump in here. I shared the link. I guess no one want to have anything to say to my cousin. I hit it on his page. Maybe folks are falling back. They don't want to get involved. I've lost some cousins, man. Some family members along the way, man. I ain't gonna front. It's tough. Life goes on. Life goes on. So I want you guys to beware of the roaring lion. When you're weak, when you're down, that's when he's going to show up. He can sniff and smell your weakness. He's going to show up. Count on it. Expect it. So I want you all to begin to cultivate a lifestyle of humility. I want you to remember to ask for help, to reach out for help, and to accept the help of others. It doesn't have to be about them loving you or caring about you, or any of that. None of that's necessary to help someone. I can help a complete stranger. I can save a complete stranger's life. I don't have to love them, care about them, even know them. To want to offer that kind of help, to want to save a life. Ask any EMT, firefighter, police officer. Saving lives doesn't have to come with love and care. All the stuff that my cousin, obviously felt he didn't have the last 6 months of his life. Because had he not been so proud, had he had a relationship with a humble heart, if he had cultivated that into his lifestyle, he would have seen that there was the assistance that he needed somewhere. See you at the crossroads, you don't get no way. See you at the crossroads, so you don't get no way. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania lost a real one last night. Miss you already, bro. Miss you already. If you're dealing with suicidal thoughts today, tonight, be humble. Ask for help. Seek help. Please be willing to receive help. Taibu Mu'addib, that's the show.